Hey there, guys. How you doing? It is me, Nakimbe. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through what one of our marketing plans look like if you become a client of Mappdom, exactly what you can expect. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so here we are. All right, so the recent client that we had, two psychotherapists, they're opening up their own practice, and so they didn't know anything about digital marketing. Well, you know what? Let's just get into it. Let's just get right into it. All right, so this is a 6-week marketing launch package. The proposal outlines a comprehensive 6-week marketing launch package for this particular company. And these are our deliverables. So they're going to get a strategic foundation document. It assesses their revenue targets, competitive analysis for marketing position, brand identity. So we picked out their colors, their fonts, their messaging. And then they get a strategic foundation report. So then they also get a brand document. So we establish brand guidelines based on their core color palette, um, finalization. They pick the font, the tones, the target audience, and key messaging and tagline. And then we help them with their marketing foundation. So this is normally like a $10,000 marketing launch package, but we have had a special on, and they got maybe 60% off or something like that. And so it doesn't include a full website development because that would probably be, $4,000 or $5,000. But what we did is we helped them to set up their website, to help them to select their domain, register their domain. We guide them around design and tech and maintenance and SEO, what keywords they should use. So again, I educated them on the fact that you want to look for long tail keywords. You want to look for people that are looking for specific psychotherapy practices or modalities, because you're not going to rank for psychotherapists near me, right? It's a very competitive term. So I was teaching them about long tail keywords and buyer intent keywords. So again, sometimes when I deliver these packages, you're like, oh, what's the big deal? But if you were just starting out on your own, you would know nothing about that. Probably nothing about SSL or where to host your domain or which one is the best. You might just go with something about GoDaddy. You won't understand tech and maintenance so that your website doesn't go down or get malware. Or hackers. There's all sorts of things. You need monthly maintenance plugins, monthly plugin updates, WordPress edition updates, etc. So it's very important. I educated them on that. And then just when their website, I'm letting them know about they should probably morph into a 5-page website, because initially we just give them like a 1-page landing page. Menu suggestions, recommendation for website platforms and hosting. So WP Engine, code samples for layout suggestions. So I did do a code for a website for them, but didn't love the code, but they still have access to it. It's not what we built it on. It was something different. Make sure that their website is mobile responsive. Then we develop their content strategy. So we give them 90 pieces of Instagram content, 52 topics, and content buckets, basic keyword research for main services, and 1-year content cluster editorial plan content themes. So it's very important when you're an entrepreneur, especially if you want to be found in search, SEO optimization, that you are blogging on a weekly basis. Really, I would say twice a week if you can. If you get at least 100 pages on your website, then you're kind of golden. So most people, they don't even know about blogging or how often they should blog. Nothing about H1 tags or H2 tags, or how the spiders crawl the website, what they look for. So most entrepreneurs getting into business have no idea about this. This saves so much time and decreases the learning curve. It would take months, if not years, to even know all of this, and they still would not. Okay. Social media, provide 1-year social media content calendar and posting strategy and a guide on setting up social media. We did that. And then that's it. So the timelines, basically 6 weeks, and this was their particular their particular plan. But so that's that part. Now, if you want to see kind of let's see, let's look at behind the scenes. So these are some of the social media graphic banners that we designed for them. So this is going to go on, it's going to go on their Instagram page. It's going to be very nice. We gave them 90 pieces of content. So basically, I think they put everything on their page already, but at least you want to post 3 times a day so that after a month you have 90 pieces of content. And that's a strategic number because when you take a phone, I have to see if I can find mine. When you take a phone and you scroll like about 4 times, 4 to 6 times, is what people usually look for when they're looking at your social media. And the perspective that I come from is people, if they've never been to your site, they should know what you offer, right? So again, this is just the foundation. It's not something that they're going to have to continue to post these particular posts. They can post whatever they want in the future. But like I said, because they are just, it's their initial online launch and presence, they don't have any social media up right now. If people were to go, it would just be a whole bunch of random stuff, which we don't want, right? So we've got the name Sacred Sapiens Ascension Psychotherapy. So we know what it is. People know, they can see immediately, what can I get here? I can get Reiki. I can get somatic. They focus on, somatic psychotherapy, person-centered attachment. So someone coming to their social media for the first time can just scroll, and immediately know what they're about and what they're offering, right? If you just have pictures and all sorts of stuff, people don't necessarily know what you offer just really quickly like that. I love having prices on here. I like, calling out your ideal target audience. But for now, we just wanted to lay the foundation. So I'm going to show you what this actually looks like when everything comes together. But so we will provide 90 pieces of social media content for you. Here are, some quotes. And oh yeah, this doesn't render well when I click on it. So let's see. It's not too bad. Okay, so what I did here was, this is just a basic mock up. I just gave them some suggestions of different layout types that they would like. So this is just sort of like a color scheme. So it's going to be a gradient from one color blending into the next. And I'll do another video in just a little bit of another company. But so you see, we've got the beiges and the soft pinks blending into the other pinks and the purples, blending into the greens and blending into the greens and the blues, right? So I was letting them know that that is one of their layout options. And because they have the different names, right? So they can have different images or the same image. They can alternate between different modalities, throw in a quote here. So whereas at the top, you'll see it was just a bunch of pictures, and these would have quotes on them, right? So these would have quotes on them, as you saw with Canva. No, that's not the right Canva. Is it you? Where are you? Where's the right Canva? This was the right Canva? Where are you? Oh, maybe I gotta go back. Here we go. There we go. So you can see the images. Those were just mock-ups, but these ones have the actual quotes on them, right? So what you would do is you would lay them out in this way, and they would all have quotes. But like if it's just quote, that doesn't really talk about what their modalities are. So I'm like, why don't you intersperse the modalities with the pictures and the quotes? And again, I just give them options to take a look at. I like some of just the plain pictures with no words on them. By the way, we don't write the descriptions because that takes more time, costs more money. We don't know exactly what it is you want to say, but we will guide you in terms of, the words that you're supposed to have and hashtags, etc. So we will give you a layout of what your social media is going to look like. And then what else do we do here? Okay, and yeah, and then we can go behind the scenes. Is this their website stuff? Okay, I won't show that to you because their login password for their WordPress and stuff is there. So maybe I'll just stop sharing the screen when I go to that section. But Okay, and so this is what a client folder actually looks like. So we've got their annual marketing plan, we've got their blog topics, different images that they wanted us to use, copies of all of our Zoom meetings, different quotes that they use on their quote cards, different social media banners. Here's their branding information, transcripts from the calls that we've had, different videos they provided, and this is just my own personal work in progress, so they don't really get access to that. But so we'll take a look at their annual marketing plan, right? So it's 1 year social media calendar, tells you what you should focus on quarterly. So for the first quarter, it's new beginnings, relationships and connection, balance and integration, reflection and transformation. Again, just based on the time of year. So monthly themes and content focus. So fresh start psychology, setting intentions, understanding your emotional patterns. So we give you everything that you should blog about, post about for an entire year. You don't have to think about it. And although, some people might think, oh, I can just get this from ChatGPT. If you don't know to put in the tone, the brand, the right instructions, if you're not clear, and you're only going to get that clarity with some of the experience that I have. We can just get this done in no time. So anyway, February, relationship wellness, March, trauma. So I don't have to go through all of them, but we basically have their social media content calendar for 1 year. And again, these are just like sort of quarterly themes so that they'll know what they should be posting on their social media. It's not just going to be random stuff, right? I used to do, so I personally do Monday motivation, Tuesday testimonial, Wednesday what we do, Thursday who we serve, Friday is usually something fun or fun fact. That's how that's how my posts are guided. I'll change it in between here and there, but in case I'm like, what should I post today? Something mindful, a testimonial. So for them, they got mindfulness Monday, technique Tuesday, wisdom Wednesday, thoughtful Thursday, feel good Friday. All right. So these are their themes. And then you can also go on once they have their colors and their brand and their logo and their font. Now they can start to create social media banners just with, different holidays and observances throughout the year. Right. So with this, they'll be able to just, craft the rest of their social media for their year. I would advise doing banners and videos. All right, so that's that. Let's see what else we got here. That's their annual plan. And then we've got different blog topics. Okay, so these are not, again, just random chat GPT, give me some blog topics. It doesn't work like that. Like I said, there's a lot of strategy and education and experience and exposure that went into this. So we picked these themes. They're going to have to pick which ones they like because we actually gave them quite a lot. But here, they're relationship focused themes that they can write about, holistic spiritual themes that they can write about, practical how-tos. Again, so a new business coming into the market would never even think to do this. They would not know what to do. These are just the different modalities that they offered, which I used to create those social media banners. Seasonal topics. Yeah. Oh, so that's what I was saying. So these are based on keyword research. So words that people are going to be looking for, things that will have viral components or capabilities if they choose to change these into videos and post these on YouTube. Like these are great titles, really, really great, interesting titles that are going to position them as authority. And when people are searching for, better communication skills, right? That, for example, that's not by accident. That's a keyword that people are going to search for. And when they get this far down in the customer journey and they're closer, with buyer intent, they look for more specific words, right? So these are all really, really, really great topics. Again, this is corporate level marketing strategy that we're providing that most people wouldn't think to even do this. Like I said, even with AI, you wouldn't know what to put. They just wouldn't know. It's my 25 plus years of experience that are contributing to this. So these are just different images that they provided. Meetings, these are the quotes. So I had mentioned that the quotes were really long and that they would not fit on the little squares, even if we were to like do a carousel scroll. It's just too many words. And the client found that I was right, because even with the social media, where is it? Even with these, they didn't have a lot of words, but in the end, they decided not to even go with the layout that we suggested, which is why we don't necessarily do everything, because it would be a huge waste of time. So we provide the guidance and then let them, take their reins and do with their social media what they want. But at the end, what they decided is they were just going to use quotes and just going to put the modalities. But they actually found that there were too many words and it was too small. So, and that was with me shortening the quotes. So, yeah, but hopefully they'll use it for some other stuff, because it actually does look quite nice. So again, when we do your strategic marketing plan, this is the level and the depth that we go into. So now you can see how it's easily $10,000, but we didn't charge that for the particular promo um that we had. And my challenge is, I'm like this bleeding heart. I want to help entrepreneurs, and so I often discount things so that it can make it affordable for them. They can have access to it so that they can get the launch and the foundation that they need to be successful. Results. We were at this file, log topics, layout, strategy. I don't think we need that anymore. We're still in here. Layout doc. Okay, so we got the quotes, we got the social media banners. Yeah, I think I put their banners in here. So these are their letters. Yep. Their modalities. Beautiful. Uh, what else? Oh, the modalities in pink and the different quotes. Yay! Beautiful. All right, and I go back, yeah. Social media segments. Oh, here is their branding information. So what we did is we worked with them to establish their official brand colors. I don't actually see their official brand colors in here. We created their logo for them. So this logo looks completely messed up. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this needs to be recreated. Um, they had a couple of different colors they wanted. We helped them pick, is this the right one? Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't look that great. I don't know why it turned out like that, but let me see. So that's what their name looks like with the font that they chose. So we helped them. What is this? Okay. Um, and then I think their official brand color should have been in here, but if they're not, we can create their official brand document colors. Oh, I think it says, I think these are their official colors. They'll have to, yeah, these are their official colors, I believe. Nope. Okay, so they don't have their official layout. That has to be in colors somewhere. Okay, well, we'll have to figure that out. And then what else do we have? Transcripts, videos. Huh. So these are just little things that they could, use if they wanted to start doing some video. That should really take me out of them. Quotes and then pictures. And that's it. Oh, and then a little bit about them. Yeah, so this is just information about them that they provided. And this is like the messaging. So they're a great choice if you want to feel truly seen, heard, understood by therapists who speak your language. So again, we did this through the conversations that we had in our Zoom meetings. That's where the core comes from. Like once I speak with business owners often enough, tends to be a recurring theme and differentiation, which we use as their competitive advantage when we are marketing them so that we can differentiate them from their competitors and create content that directly speaks to the type of people that would be interested in their type of therapy, as well as the ideal clients that they would like to attract. And again, one of their differentiators here is perfect for people who are seeking a more holistic spiritual approach to healing. They want therapists that are relatable and not judgmental. So again, these are things that I got from the conversations that I had with the clients. However, unless they have the experience and the technological know-how, I'm not sure that they would have been able to boil it down to something that is very condensed and complete, has benefits. Like there's so much strategy just behind this. And a perfect example of this is, like I said, when I just even asked them for the quotes, and I was like, these quotes are too long, right? Sometimes businesses know their business very well, but they don't know how to articulate it. They don't know how to articulate it succinctly. They don't know how to articulate it in a way that causes people to stand up, pay attention, buy. Oh, here's an initial Instagram layout that we had tried out for them. We also go through revenue targets because it's very important for them to understand when we're creating your website, when we're doing the SEO, when we're doing the keywords, when we're setting up your Google business page, all of that is designed so that when people are searching for your particular service or product, your stuff will come out, right? You want to make sure that you have enough traffic coming to your website because there's usually about a 1% conversion. So for every 100 people who buy, 10 people might opt into a free download or a free meeting, like some way for you to generate leads, for you to collect the information from the people that are coming to your website. Otherwise, they just come to your website and they leave, right? So the goal is to capture them so that you can continue to nurture them, follow up with them, overcome their objections until they eventually buy. I say this all the time. You and I are both buyers. We really go to a website. Oh, yeah, I want this, and put a credit card down. We do our research. We investigate. We check out. We compare. We dig a little deeper, ask more questions, and then we'll decide to buy. So sometimes it can take weeks, if not a couple of months, maybe even longer for somebody to actually convert into a customer. And that's why you want to keep your pipeline full. You want to have a lot of leads, a lot of prospects, so that eventually, some actual sales will trickle down out of that. So again, one of the things that we do that is quite strategic that I know a small business owner would not know what to do on their own, they wouldn't even think about it, is to sort of think about in advance, to kind of think in advance, well, how much traffic do I need? How much money do we want to make, right? Control S. Yeah, how much money do we want to make? So based on a conversion of 1 to 2%, how many people need to come to our website every single day or every single week or every single month to get those conversion numbers? And then you have to ask yourself, how are you going to drive traffic to your website? So the social media, the content, all of those things that we posted earlier will help. So I mean, that's it. I'm not gonna get into too many of the details here, but yeah, we just will look for what your low end and high end um target revenue is going to be, as well as if you want to start investing in marketing later on to grow, how much you would invest. So again, this is all corporate level detail that we include in your strategic marketing plan that, like I said, most small business entrepreneurs would have no idea because they don't have any corporate exposure or experience, right? So this is, like I said, it's actually probably more, but I was pricing it at $10,000. It's actually probably worth about 15, but I'm always considerate of people's financial comfortability, which I know is not my problem, but I just really do want to help and serve. And so I try to make it accessible and affordable and attainable. So you can probably see the value of everything that is provided if you went, to typical marketing agencies, unless you're starting with $50,000, there's nothing we can do. We couldn't even help. So it's like, wow, you're sometimes just locked out of the market, locked out of opportunities. And I didn't want that to happen for people. And this was actually, yeah, we gave a significant discount on this service for this particular client or practice. And I just kind of wanted people to see behind the scenes what it looks like. I have another campaign that I'm going to show you in just a little bit. But if you want a corporate level strategic marketing plan for you and your business so that you can shortcut your way to success using corporate strategies that have been successful for multiple businesses and corporations that I've worked for, then I would seriously suggest that you invest in something like this. We do have a financing option available, but this is really what you need to succeed. If you think you're just going to be posting on social media once in a while without any strategy, without any cohesion, without knowing what works, you're going to sometimes waste your time and feel disheartened. But it's entrepreneurialism is difficult, it's challenging. There are a lot of roadblocks and obstacles. And when you have, you know, an experienced award-winning professional like myself, I help you to avoid all of those landmines, all of those bombs, all of those surprises. We basically tiptoe our way around those things to success. But this is just something that I use to sort of lay out the colors and what things are going to look like, if it's going to be, you know, a long post or if it's going to be a square post. Let me take a look at all of their colors and sort of I match things out so I can see what the layout is going to look like. But yeah, so there you go. There you have it there. Behind the scenes look at how we do strategic corporate level marketing plans for small business. Bye.